But I want it now!
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is easily the movie I'm most excited for this month, mostly because this is the only competition. Thank God that filth is off my screen. Glad Disney decided to waste over $200 million on this instead of making Beat the Lobbits 2. After watching the trailers again and again, deeply analyzing them, I think I figured out the entire plot to the Sonic movie 3. Even though more footage for the movie has been released, not everyone has seen them and I don't want to spoil anything for people, so I'm going to choose not to watch it or describe anything in there. Also, speaking of spoilers, here's a spoiler warning on a weird chance I actually get something right. It's like a 1 in a billion chance, but hey, I feel like I should still give that warning out. So I think the movie is going to start off with Sonic and Shadow making love. The movie starts with Sonic and the gang inside his cave moving the remaining things out. Because Sonic lived in a cave in the first movie and doesn't really make sense that he would be there anymore. Like, we get Tom's prep talk here because in the second movie, he gave a prep talk to Sonic pretty early on when they were fishing. So I feel like it'll be a similar beat. Then it's time to go home, so Tom and Maddie set up a race for Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles to get home. And they're running home, but then I think it'll cut to a gun facility where Shadow is being held. It shows Shadow inside a glass tube. As an alarm goes off as gun agents surround it, it cuts to a different thing that shows Shadow's heart rate is increasing, showing that he's getting out of his stasis state. Shadow then wakes up, punches the glass, and proceeds to kick some fucking ass and escapes the island. Too bad some of those children couldn't. Then it cuts back to Sonic and friends when General Olive Golden shows up. Yes, I forgot his name. And Tom answers the door talking for a bit and decides to let General Olive Golden in. After getting some exposition about the backstory of Shadow and things like that, we get a call on the radio saying that there's signs of Shadow in Tokyo. General Olive Golden, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, along with a couple of gun agents hop in a helicopter and decide to head to Tokyo. It then shows Shadow being surrounded in Tokyo by gun agents, but since we've already seen Shadow kick some absolute fucking ass, I think we would end up cutting to Team Sonic in the helicopter. They use one of the links to get to Tokyo, and after seeing a giant fireball, they decided to jump down. Which, by the way, why don't they have parachutes? Like, seriously. Tails, I can understand. Tails can fly. Knuckles, yeah, I can kinda get that. He can glide. But Sonic, bro, you're gonna break your legs. I doubt you have super healing, bro. Just don't risk breaking your legs. Get a freaking parachute, you fucking dumbass. However, due to plot armor, they all land safely on the ground where they're ready to fight Shadow. Team Sonic fights this Shadow and they all get their ass beat before Shadow goes on a motorcycle and drives away. Though Sonic tries fighting Shadow since he's the only one able to get up, and they end up fighting, which Shadow eventually either wins the fight or gets away. They decide after getting their asses kicked so bad that they should go meet with General Olive Golden at a Chow Golden restaurant. But while talking, an Eggman drone fires a missile aimed towards Sonic, and then instead of destroying the drone, Tails somehow gets a hold of it and somehow using some gadget, he hacks the drone to bring them to where Eggman's hideout is, because the drone probably made them realize that Eggman could be alive. So after talking if they even should team up with Eggman, they decide to go. But also, like, before we continue with this, I just want to say, how the hell is Eggman alive? There should be no way he's alive right now. He got crushed by a giant fucking robot. How is he alive? Like, someone please genuinely answer me. How the hell is he alive? Team Sonic finds Eggman's base and they find Dr. Stone waiting outside of it, and they convince him to let them inside of Eggman's base. After talking to Eggman, Team Sonic decides to make a deal to work together. Sonic gives Eggman what he wants, which is one of his quills, possibly hinting at Metal Sonic in the future. And in return, Eggman is going to help Team Sonic take down Shadow. After Eggman takes some time to prepare, they decide to hop through a portal. Since Sonic can choose where the links go, he chooses to have the links bring him to Shadow's location. This brings all 5 of them to a secret facility. They eventually decide to split up into groups, Sonic and Eggman, and then Tails, Knuckles, and Agent Stone in the other. And one of the groups ends up finding Shadow and get captured. And then eventually Sonic ends up getting captured. But I believe this facility is where Gerald Robotnik is. And Shadow just decided to reunite with him, and Gerald decided decided to go reunite with Eggman, hoping that they're on the same side, which thankfully for Eggman, they are. When Team Sonic wakes up, they're chained together and they see both Dr. Eggman and Gerald Robotnik along with Shadow. And Shadow drops a black hole marble and then decides to leave with Gerald and Eggman. After some teamwork, Team Sonic survives using a link and head home to Tom and Maddie. After Sonic explains what happened, Tom and Maddie agree to go help Sonic, and then they all decide to go to the United Kingdom. This is where Tom, Maddie, the crazy aunt from Sonic 2, and her husband all work for Gung. Before I get to mention, I genuinely have no idea where the scene with Gerald as Santa is going to be. Maybe it's a flashback or a dream sequence, I have no idea. With the amount of scenes that they've revealed just showing Eggman and Gerald, all of them are just like, I have no idea. Which just makes me really excited for the movie. But then we see Dr. Eggman emerge out of a hole with Agent Stone, Gerald, and Shadow, and then they hop into a spaceship and use Shadow to power it. Agent Stone gets left behind on Earth though, and Sonic and the gang race looking for Eggman, and then they see the ship taking off and Team Sonic along with Tom decides to get on the ship. At some point before this, Gerald puts on his suit and gives Eggman his gay immaculate suit. Then Sonic gets captured and Tom yells for him before Shadow sends him back to Earth. For whatever reason, Shadow ends up on Earth as well, and then both Eggman decide to piss on the moon. I mean, Eggman and Gerald decide to shoot a laser at the moon and destroy a part of Earth. Sonic lands near a forest, and then Shadow lands there too. And that's where I think they end up fighting, because if a laser shoots in that spot, then yeah, there's gonna be like lava and stuff everywhere. And then for whatever reason, the Master Emerald falls out of the sky, whether it's from a gun helicopter or somehow Knuckles doing it. Maybe this is how they could get Wade in the movie. And when it lands, it shatters, and then Shadow and Sonic both try fighting to get the Chaos Emeralds. But then Wade appears and becomes Super Wade and uses the Chaos Emerald to take out the bad guys, win a bowling tournament, and end the movie. Okay, but for real, Shadow and Sonic both get them, and then we get the reveal of Super Sonic and Super Shadow. And due to some movie bullshit, Shadow instantly remembers everything, and that Gerald was just trying to control him. And that makes Shadow not want to take out all of humanity. So Super Sonic and Super Shadow then head up to space to take down Gerald and Eggman. Eggman, witnessing this type of power before, decides to evacuate along with Tails, Knuckles, and Tom. Gerald decides to stay, convinced he can take them both out with his piss laser, which ultimately fails. They all land back on Earth again when Gung suddenly surrounds the escape pod and arrests Eggman. Sonic and Shadow lands back on Earth, and Shadow says, "Man, Sonic, I'm sorry my chaos got out of control, but now that I am all of me, can we still be Sonic heroes?" And Sonic says, "It's okay, Shadow, we live and learn. A true Sonic adventure with the friends we made along the way." And then it cuts to credits. Okay, for real though, Sonic lands back on Earth in his super form and says that Shadow didn't make it, and Sonic starts crying or feels bad or whatever. And then Knuckles or Tails just say like, "Oh yeah, there was nothing you could do," and they give him a hug. The movie ends with a bittersweet message on how you shouldn't be a whiny bitch about your problems, and instead you should repress the trauma, and then rolls to credits. Obviously I just pulled that lesson out of my ass. Obviously people handle it differently, and for most of the movie, Shadow was being manipulated. So I don't know, either way they're going to find some message to put in there. But I think there's going to be 2 post-credit scenes. The first one being Eggman in jail, and then a Gung agent knocks on the door, and then the Gung agent takes off his helmet revealing he's Agent Stone. I believe it's either gonna be this, or the first post-credit scene instead is going to be Agent Stone on Eggman's computer looking up his nudes on Twitter.
Who posted my nudes on Twitter?
When he suddenly finds the blueprints to make Metal Sonic, thanks to the quill that Sonic gave him earlier in the movie. Because I don't know, I feel like they're gonna be setting up a future character, and if Sonic gives Eggman his quill, there's like a 99% chance that's going to either be used in a movie or it's Metal Sonic. Like, there's literally no way besides for one of those. The second post-credit scene shows that somehow Shadow lived and is back in a gun facility in stasis like he was before, when he opens his eyes and it cuts cuts to black, teasing his return. If you made it this far in the video, please consider subscribing to help me make more videos like this. Comment how you think the Sonic movie 3 will turn out, keep yapping, and I'll see you guys later.